What's up, family, and welcome to the New Breed podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Murray. Thank you so much for joining us. Do me a favor, if it is your first time here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you are part of the family, remember to like this video, share it with somebody, and also engage in the comments. Let's get the conversation going so that we can increase this reach and find more people exactly like you. Today we're going to be speaking to an incredible man of God. We want to speak about what it is that you can do and how you can work so that you are healthy but following purpose at the same time. How can you be healthy and follow purpose at the same time? Today I'm with Pastor Brenton Phillips. He is a father, a husband. He's also a worship leader and a songwriter. And I'm so excited to have him with us. He's a voice that I know, and it's somebody that's I think that's gonna speak to us in a really powerful way. Pastor Brent, thank you so much for being with us on the New Breed podcast.
Kyle, thank you for having me, and to all the viewers, God bless you.
I was rehearsing, right? Yeah. And I thought I want to do that intro in Afrikaans because I have you with me.
No, you're gonna mess it up.
But I thought I'm gonna butcher it. I thought I'm gonna butcher it. I think a good place for us to start, and like I said, this is the conversation we want to have, right? But I think a good place to start is maybe you can just invite us into your world a little bit. You are a worship leader, you do songwriting as well. On let's say a Sunday morning or in your world, when you're walking into a room and you have to now lead worship, what is it that you feel that you're trying to accomplish when you're coming into the room? How are you navigating it? Not in an abstract way, but in a practical way. What is it that you're looking to accomplish?
Yeah, I have this thing that I always say to people. It's very important to understand preparation and presentation.
Okay.
So people normally go out of their way to give a good presentation of whatever they do, whether it's praise and worship, whether it's just musicians, whatever. But I always say that the beauty of all of that lies in the preparation. You see, so I normally say to my team, if we don't see the smoke in preparation, then we won't see the fire on a Sunday. You know, so whatever I do, whether it's on a Sunday or whether it's at an event or show, whatever the case may be, to me, it's not so much of, what I'll find when I enter the room. I go with the confidence of knowing that I am prepared for what I'm going to do.
Okay.
You understand? So I believe once you are prepared, then God can do He can do whatever He wants to do with whatever you are prepared with. So it can go whatever direction as long as you give Him a prepared offering. Then just something that you throw in the mix simply because, the room is full of people or whatever the case may be. But if you go with a prepared gift, God can do whatever He wants to do with it. So that's normally my approach to things.
I know on the podcast we have a wider range of different people listening, and for you it's it's worship leading specifically, or it's with your songwriting, which is something I want us to talk about. But for anyone that's watching, it could be showing up for work. It could be, showing up for school. It could be showing up as a mother or as a wife. But what you're saying is when you're walking into service, you're saying that, preparation is one of the things that's important for you. Okay. What else when you're getting into the room? What are you looking to accomplish when you're in the room, when you're leading worship?
Yeah, look, I always say in a church setting, or let me rather say a show, whatever the case may be, you deal with different people. So for that reason, I can't go on stage full of whatever I'm feeling and full of whatever I'm going through, because there might be a person in that crowd that feels like after this service, I'm going to go and commit suicide.
Sure.
There's somebody that left home with no bread there. You understand? There's somebody that's going to leave church not even knowing what they're going to eat. You understand? So how I prepare myself is like, Lord, give me something to give to them. So that person that wants to give up, don't give up. That person that's confused must have direction when he leaves here, So I will always say, the same way you came in, my prayer is that you don't leave the same. Because we're dealing with different people. And likewise, when you go to work, you might work or go to work and see the same colleagues every day, but you don't know how they left home this morning.
Yeah.
You understand? So for that reason, you can't go to work full of whatever you're going through, full of your feelings, because remember, we are servants. And being a servant, you must always have something to serve people with. You know?
I think also with worship leading specifically as well, that I want to hear your thoughts about this. There's this really unique position that worship leaders are in, because you leading this this room into worship, right? But you're not necessarily a teacher or like a teacher, or it's not necessarily a Bible study, or it's not, because of course there's a level of authority and a level of scrutiny that teachers go under according to the scriptures, right? The word of God, there's a certain scrutiny that comes with that. How do you feel about that unique position of the worship leader, where they're in a position of authority, but at the same time, it's not something that I guess is officially stated unless they are ordained ministers? And how do you navigate that?
It's a very difficult one. You can decide to just go, and do things off the script. But there's sometimes a pulling from the Spirit in a certain direction. So now the question is, are you going to just stick to whatever you prepared or rehearsed or whatever the script is, or are you going to go into the direction the Spirit wants to do? Wants you to go. So remember, there's also authority. And we know, like in normal church services, there's praise and worship, and there's offering, and there's all these things.
Yeah.
So that is you lead also under the authority that somebody
has given you.
Okay. But at the same time, if everybody is in unison and they are in the same spirit, somehow you will just know that take this direction, and then everything will flow in the direction as the Spirit leads. But we will be in unison.
And the reason I'm also wanting to start here is because, man, I think there's a certain gravity to the position that worship leaders are in, and a certain gravity to fulfilling that and fulfilling the purposes of God, right? That's why there's always a pressure to make sure you show up for no matter what. Because like you're saying, today I might not be okay. But there's somebody who knows what position
so you
they
serve
in.
Beyond yourself.
Exactly.
You always serve beyond yourself. Because if you're going to go up to that stage full of whatever you're feeling in that moment, you need to always remind yourself that there's somebody that's going through much worse. You understand? So if you can serve them and give them something to hold on to after the service, what is God going to do for you? You understand? Because at the end of the day, your reward is greater. So I always say to people, it's not about you. So when you get on that stage, get over yourself. Because people can so easily go upstage or approach praise and worship from that place of, you guys don't know what I'm going through. And what I've seen in my experience doing praise and worship, many guys will go up there and that whole praise and worship is basically based on what he's going through. You understand? There's people that's really ready for an encounter. But their ears full of his emotions, crying over whatever he's going through, and he's seeking God for himself. Not that it's wrong, you understand? But at the end of the day, you're also there to lead people somewhere. So you always lead beyond yourself. It's never about you when you're on that stage. God will deal with you and he'll bless you in his own way. But it is his people first. And then he will sort you out. So I always approach it from that place.
And I think it's a principle that Jesus has taught us, right? To wash the feet of those, the greatest of all will be the least. And I think a lot of the times fulfilling the purposes of God or pursuing the purposes of God requires a level of showing up and performance. But has the pressure of that has it ever gotten to you? Like the pressure of, and maybe for context, tell us how long you've been worship leading, how long you've been doing this, and then maybe has that pressure ever gotten to you? Because I can imagine anyone listening or maybe watching this who maybe has the pressure of, okay, I need to fulfill the purposes of God. No matter what, I need to serve beyond, like you're saying, serve beyond myself. Has the pressure of that ever gotten to you?
Yeah, a lot of times, and I'll tell you, Kyle, there are moments when you're on stage and then you can feel that pulling, spirit this side saying, go this direction. But then at the same time, you are so afraid of losing the people, because in your mind is like, if I'm going that direction, I might lose the people. You can hear the Lord say, sing this to me, because remember, whatever we do, worship is to Him.
Yeah.
So it's like He's saying, sing this to me. But it's like, yeah, Lord, but what if the people don't get it? You're always in that unsurety, like, should I do this? Should I not? And then in most times we gravitate towards what the people want. And then you lose God in the moment.
Sure.
And then when you decide to go the direction the Spirit leads, it is very difficult. I'm telling you, it's difficult, because in your mind it's like, what if I lose the people? But you must have that guts on stage to say, look, whatever, I'm going to go this direction. And sometimes you do get in trouble for it. I mean, we've done praise and worship at places where you'll be on stage with your little earpiece there, and then you can sense this is where the Spirit of the Lord is taking us. And then once you just enter that place, then you will hear somebody will tell you from wherever they're sitting in your ear, like, hey, Brent, you're taking it too far. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Because praise and worship is like a little production.
Yeah.
There's some churches where we're doing it as a production.
100%.
So once you go a little bit too far, somebody will tell you, no, Brent, you're going too far, bring it back. Or you are over time. It's time to cut it, And then they start counting down in your ear in 5, 4, 3, 2. So what do you do in that moment?
Yeah.
Because you understand?
You have to
because we're
just
doing it for the streamers and all these things. So especially now, we're living in a very difficult time.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to following what the Spirit really wants us to do. Because we are so time conscious. When whatever we do on a Sunday is production. So if it doesn't go a certain way, then you're not keeping to the script. And then after service, you find yourself in trouble. And even if you explain and say, no, but I really felt the Spirit of the Lord was taking it there. It's like, no, but this is the production. So what do? Do you follow the production, or do you follow the Spirit? You always find yourself in that difficult place. Yes, there are times where you will see, when you look over the crowd, even the pastor will show you, carry on. And that is now where you go.
Yeah.
But in most cases, those in charge of the production, they will speak into your ear and say, no, man, you go too far. Get back to the service.
And do you think that's as a result of like our generation?
Yeah, our generation. Because look, everything it's production, man. And I'm saying this with all due respect.
Yeah.
That in most cases, church has become the scripted play. Praise and worship, we do have those songs there. And then we know exactly from the song we go into the next song. We have a little track playing there.
Yeah.
So you can feel the song is going in a certain direction, but then you will hear the track is counting in your ear.
Yeah.
Change key in 5, 4, 3, 2. What do? You can't just turn around and say, stop the track. Because I feel the Spirit is leading us this way. You can't. I think to keep to the.
I think us as just general, like just a congregation, don't even see that, don't even hear that. Like you speaking about the track that's in your ear, you're having to count. We're not conscious of that. But you saying that's a feature and a facet of our generation. Is we trying to box up? We're trying to make sure everything, because Netflix is spontaneous, is immediate, and YouTube and everything. So you're saying even our church experience will try to do that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You understand? Everything needs to be perfect. And yeah, we do believe in excellence and all of that. But I always say, if it means that our level of excellence is going to go against what the Spirit of the Lord wants, then I don't want the excellence. You understand? I can rather go without all the nice things.
Sure.
You understand? But what people want is that, because that is what's selling. That is what drawing the crowds nowadays. Because people want to go to church and have what they call an express service that is 1.5 hours long. So praise and worship is 4 songs. And whatever God wants to do, He must do it in that 20 minutes.
Mm.
And if that 20 minutes is over, it's like, God, you need to stop now because there's a program that we need to follow. It's production, you know.
It's production.
So that is what, especially in our generation, that is what church has become. And what I thank God for churches that still flow with whatever the Spirit of the Lord wants, you know. They, even though there is a program, there is a lineup, but if the Spirit is moving, nobody stands in your way, you know, and then they allow you to do whatever you need to do.
It's really interesting hearing it like from your perspective. And how long have you been worship leading worship?
I think in 2012 was the year that I really had a encounter with the Lord.
Okay.
I've been in praise and worship for years, man.
Okay.
Playing the drums and all the things. But for most of the previous years, it was just me doing what I know I do best. But there was no really an encounter with the Lord. So in that moment, exactly what to say to get the crowd hyped, exactly what to sing to get the crowd hyped. You understand? But there's no real connection. But you're so rooted in church culture. That's exactly what to say.
Yeah.
You know, how to tweak things around to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
You know, so in the previous years, that was what it was about.
Was there performance?
It was performance.
And then what changed for you?
Yeah. So in 2012, I did praise and worship this one Sunday. So coming down from stage, you know, everybody was like, hey, powerful service and all of that. But me sitting there, I knew that, this is it, man. It can't carry on like this. Because, you know, you can so easily fool everyone because your experience allow you or give you that true pass to do whatever you do, you know. So I've been doing things on experience for years. And that Sunday it was like, nah, Brent, this is it. It can't carry on like this. I remember going home and I was in the room just crying, you know.
Sure.
My wife came in and she was like, Brent, what's up? And I said to her, nah, I can't do this anymore. What? I'm like, nah, I'm alone on that stage every Sunday.
The Lord is not with me.
He's not with me. I say the right things. I sound like the real thing, but trust me, he's not. Because at the end of the day, the individual know where he stands with the Lord. And at that moment, I knew that for a long time, I haven't been doing the right thing. You know, so God dealt with me in that way, where I had to repent, seek his face. And then also God restored a whole lot of things that wasn't right in my life. When I made that decision, like, Lord, as from now on, I do what you want me to do. And not rely so much on the experience of praise and worship, you know, the music side of it, but really rely on the Spirit of God to take me wherever you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we can become so entrenched in the performance of it, right? And like I'm saying, this goes across disciplines to say, right? We become so entrenched in performance and which you know, we must follow the purpose of God. We must show up. And but what you're saying is that there was a time when it was just experience and without the presence of God, without your relationship with the God being strong, with God being strong. Tell me, what have you found if you look at, you know, pre-2012 performance Brent versus post, you know, 2012, because it seems like 2012 was this major year for you. Post, what was the major difference practically in your relationship with God and with how you started navigating, still showing up, but showing up from a different disposition now? What was the main difference that you found there?
I think, Kyle, for me is approaching whatever you do from that honest place.
Okay.
You understand? So you find yourself in a space where everybody wants everything to be perfect. And the church is so used to your voice on that stage every Sunday. When it's conferences, it's all about you. So you guys put this whole perfect production together because it's what you do. So that was who Brent was prior 2012. But after that, I really found myself in a place where I would say straight up, no, I'm not doing that.
Mm.
You understand?
When you say that, you mean the production.
That the whole production thing, yeah, well, sometimes it works, you understand? But there are certain things that you can see. So the question is, am I just going to leave it and let it happen, knowing that this is not right? Or am I going to put a stop to it and say, no, if we're going this route, then forget about me. You see, but that is also sometimes being seen as being arrogant and being rebellious and all of those things. Simply because now you're standing up and you're like, no, guys, we can't continue with this. Because also as a leader and as a man that work with all these different people on stage, some of their character. You understand? So you'll be partying hard on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, we're on stage and bringing the presence of the Lord down.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that I've become this judgmental cat, but because I used to do that and I know also what is the consequence of that actions. So that was the thing that then drove me to that place where I had to say sometimes, like, guys, no, we can't do this because where you were last night, I know where you were last night. I'm not judging you because I've been that guy. But we can't carry on like this. If it means we're going to do this without a basis, then let's do that. But let's give glory to God in that way.
Sure.
If it means that we're going to do this without our main soprano singer, then we drop her. And then we carry on without her. But at the end of the day, the fragrance on stage must be pure. And it must be sweet smelling into the nostrils of God. You understand what I'm saying? So that was now Brent since 2012. Versus the one prior to that.
Sure.
So a lot of the cats love that one because that one will just go with anything as long as the show goes on, because that's what I call it. As long as the show goes on.
Sure.
But now at a place of where I say, guys, nah, that this is not right, man. We can't carry on like this. Because at the end of the day, where are we taking the people? You know, because people are all consumed in whatever we do. While you on that stage know that now. Because remember, music is a very emotional thing. You can sing something, say something, play something that play on the emotional strings of people.
But there's no grace on
it.
it.
It's the anointing. It's not.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that one of the things that was pre-2012, post-2012, one of the things that really changed for you was that you drew a line in the sand.
Yeah, man. I drew a line.
You were like, no, there's no more going to be compromise. Yeah. And this is where it's going to. Because I think a lot of the times the show must go on attitude stems from a place where we're more interested and we have more invested interest in performance than we do in the souls of those who are performing. Yeah. What I mean? It's like the soul. So here's where I want us to move towards, right? Is because now we've gotten the fact that, so the your soul is more important than your performance. Yes, sir. Who you are, where you are, and how you're doing is more important than how you show up. I mean, Jesus, for 30 years, no performance. Jesus did not perform for 30 years. We did not hear from him, at least biblically, from the scriptures. For 30 years, never heard anything from him, never saw. And sometimes our value is so hung up on performance. Like, it's so hung up on what I can produce, what I can give to the world. That's where I'm deriving my value. But the model of Jesus is teaching us that even before you produce anything, you're worthy of love, you're worthy of affection. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the times we have this line in the sand, and like you said, this is imperative, 100% with you. What would you say then to the person who maybe was in a similar place where you are, or where you were, when you were like, okay, I can't do this. I know this is wrong. I can't be compromising in my relationship with God. But you want to give them hope to say that God can use you as well. And in the process, you can also get your soul and your heart in the right place and your relationship with God in the right place.
I'll say this, Kyle, what we must understand is, I always say to people that it's one thing to struggle with something and a totally different thing to embrace something. You see? So if I can put it this way, there's still grace. Well, there's grace for everyone, though. But you understand what I'm saying? There's still grace. You can work around the one struggling with something. But it's a struggle to work with the one that's embracing something.
Sure.
You understand? So there's people that's really struggling with a certain lifestyle. So what you do with them is you walk with them the journey to transformation because they really want out. So now you play that role, of holding their hand and walk with them the journey. And then you'll see the transformation. But then you find the other guy who totally embraces that lifestyle to the point where they don't want anything else but what they do. But they also want to do this, you see. So the conversation now, it's different. Because to that person, I will tell him straight, what, rather choose me. But you can't do this in there. You understand? But to the one struggling with something, at least with him, I can see, what, I understand where you are. Because you made it clear that you want out. So allow me to walk with you this journey. You understand? Instead of now struggling with somebody who don't want to change. Because all he's saying is, no, this is who I am, bro. This is what I do.
Yeah.
So it's either you do that or this, but you can't do both, bro.
Yeah. The reason that I think I am wanting to, or the reason I'm bringing this up, and the reason I have a lot of compassion. Let me say that, a lot of compassion for those who are struggling, like you're saying, those who are struggling with the shadow side of who they are, whether it's imperfection, flaws, sin, struggling with it, like you're saying, the difference. I have a lot of compassion for those people because I know what it is to be that person. You know what I mean? I know what it is. That's why I wanted to have the conversation, because I want this to help somebody who's wrestling with that.
Because, Kyle, sorry for
no
interjecting, but the same with me during that time in 2012. I'm telling you, man, I would do stuff, but that inner me would be broken. It's like, nah, man, I know I messed up. I wasn't supposed to do that. There were days where I would just pray and say, Lord, please, I'm asking you, help me, man. I don't want to do this. You understand? But now at the end of the day, what you must understand is I'm now caught between these two worlds because my band is performing at wherever casino, whatever club on Saturday, and I'm the drummer there. Am I just dropping there?
Sure.
And then Sunday I need to do praise and worship at church.
You were a drummer in clubs, sir?
I used to play there.
Sure.
So now what happens is, now you say to yourself, this weekend I'm not taking drinks, nothing.
Okay.
Because I'm trying.
Yeah.
And then, but I can't drop the band because now if I drop, who's going to play? Now you go, you play, and then after that, is the drinks, is this and that and that. You understand? So when you get home, then that thing hits you like, I wasn't supposed to do this. And then remember now I have a family as well, because at that time I had 2 kids. I had 2 kids, my first and second born. Getting home at 2 p.m., 4 p.m. in the morning, smelling alcohol. You understand? And then having to wake up, getting yourself ready for church. What a lifestyle is that? So I also thank God for my wife, because she was the one that would normally just tell me, Brent, this is not on, man. Because you can't be this guy on the Saturday and then you this other thing on the Sunday. Because at the end of the day, I look at you in a certain way now as the priest of the house.
Yeah.
Your children might not say something now, but it doesn't mean they didn't smell you or they can't smell you. But now the other thing that I'm also saying, Kyle, and I'm saying this with all due respect, what also don't help people like me, the way I used to be, is like going to church. I mean, you can smell yourself. So obviously when you speak to the leaders, they can smell it.
Yeah.
But I believe the reason why they allow you on that stage and to do what you do is so that the show can go on.
Yeah.
You understand? So it doesn't help you because now nobody pulls you aside to say, hey, no, bro.
Yeah.
This is not right. So you get so comfortable in that setting, knowing that I can do whatever I want to do on the Saturday. These people won't drop me. Because now in your mind you think, well, they need me.
Okay, family, sorry to disrupt that for just a couple of seconds. We want to give a shout out to Kadash, who has generously allowed us to have our podcast recording at their premises here in Benoni. If you are looking for a gift for Father's Day, they're running a promotion at the moment where you get a free Toblerone for every order over 350 Rand. So do me a favor, I'm going to put the link in the description. Go and check some of the gift ideas they have for Father's Day. Get your dad something special because he deserves to be celebrated as well. All right? Cool. Let's get back to the conversation. So to an extent, are you saying that that type of leadership could enable you?
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm telling you, they can't tell me that they didn't smell me. They can't tell me they didn't see me. Because you can see a person that had a very long night. You can smell a person that had a very long night. You know, but the thing is, whatever we put up there on a Sunday must be perfect. And for that reason, we can't drop this guy.
Yeah, I know we need to break away from performance.
It's performance.
Sure. Something that recently I was watching a podcast and it was Chandler Moore who was actually on this podcast, and he was sharing his story. And this must have been I watched the podcast maybe 3 months ago. Yeah. Chandler Moore, for the longest time, was one of the foremost leaders in worship leading. I mean, globally, really, if you think about it. Sure. Some of the songs he's written, some of the things he's done across, at least over the past 5 years since COVID, probably one of the most prominent Christian voices, at least within music. And he was speaking on this podcast about how he was actually wrestling with addiction at the time. Sure. He was wrestling with addiction, and he had just come out of rehab, which is why he was on the podcast. He was sharing some of that journey. And so there you find someone who's so prominent, and not to make this about him, but to say that is something that we've seen play out so many different times, that's just, a public representation of it. And I think what you're saying is bringing these people along, taking our arms around them and saying to them, hey, listen, you got this, and we're going to walk through it, is actually what we need. And that's what you're saying, that we're meant to put our arms around them, right?
Yeah. You see, Kyle, one of the greatest things that I believe musicians are struggling with, and again, I'm speaking from the little experience I had being a musician, and also from a pastor's point of view.
Okay.
Is that musicians let me make this example. And I always like to make the example with football. If you take a Messi and a Ronaldo, I'm sure during the development processes and structures, the coaches could see that these boys are pretty good. They're going to become stars one day. So does a Messi and a Ronaldo really need a coach? They don't.
They don't.
Because they are gifted like that. They can play.
Yeah.
But what they do need is a mentor.
Yeah.
You understand? So same thing with musicians. We, and I'm telling you, a lot of musicians can tell you the same thing. When you grow up, and especially growing up in church during that youth phase and all of that, you have us on the one side, young, talented musicians, 12 years old and all of that. And then you get the other crew on the other side, also 12-year-old, 14-year-old, but they are now your preachers and your Bible reading, praying guys. The relationship that this camps have with the pastor and the leadership of the church is
different. Sure. Okay.
These guys will get more attention. Why? Because they are seen as the future pastors of the church.
The teachers and the preachers.
Because they stand out like that.
So good.
They know their Bible verses and all those things.
So good.
And then us on this side are just young, talented boys that can play instruments at such a young age. But nobody cares. You understand?
Yeah.
So these guys are being groomed into something while we are being left. And the only time they call on you is to tell you, look, we have a special service on Wednesday. You guys need to be there early. You guys need to go and set up there by Sister Wu's house because somebody passed away. You guys must go and set up at that corner because we're having an open air. But nobody groom you for nothing. The only function that you have is to go to church, set up the sound and play and sing. What these guys, when there's visitors at church, they get introduced to, because they are the future pastors and the future preachers. And then we on that other side are just looking. We grew up in the same church, but look at how. And then even their attitude changed towards you. These same boys, because now they calling you and shouting you around. Why didn't you guys set up? Now we are 18, 20 years old. So they already see themselves as the superior guys because they are that special breed. While we are just musicians. So we've been musicians for many years because we never had somebody that would mentor us. You see, so and I'm speaking for musicians.
Yeah.
From a pastor's
no, look, justice for musicians.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. But also,
Justice for, because that's so good what you're saying, though.
From a
Yeah.
pastor's point of view.
Yeah.
When I grew into pastoring, I could now relate to musicians from a different point of view because I know where they are and what they're going through. You understand what I'm saying? So now you tend to gravitate more to other things than committing yourself to church program because they don't care about us anyway. I mean, like I said, you go to church on a Sunday, they can smell you're not okay, but no, he's just a musician, let him play. You understand? There's so much that we're doing. And then at the end of the day, then everything is turned around. These musicians are so rebellious. And. But you guys never made time for us.
We were never discipled.
We were never discipled. We were just musicians. So I thank God for pastors that really step up and disciple musicians. But in most cases, and I'm telling you, a lot of musicians will tell you, in fact, he can't even remember the last time he and the pastor just had a sitting like this. And then the pastor just challenge his thinking on spiritual matters because it doesn't matter to them.
Sure.
Why were you late on Sunday to play? That's the things that matter. But when was the last time they just sit down to check with you? Hey, how's your mother doing? Is everything still okay at home? Hey man, you are like newlyweds. How's things still at home? None of that. You understand? Because the only thing we do, we're just there to play and see that everything goes well.
Sure.
And the strong prayer warriors, the young kids, they there. And they are groomed from understanding.
Even when the pastor's traveling, take them along with. And armor bearers, take them along with. Because discipleship.
We would just carry keyboards and speakers, and that is what we do. But deep down, there's a cry out.
I hear your heart, sir.
That somebody just disciple me.
Sure.
So now you take this long turn in your journey, and then people don't understand. But how can that child turn out like that? He grew up in church. No, but you guys never. You didn't raise us. You were just look. One thing that I'm grateful for is the platform that church gave me to express myself as a musician.
Yeah.
But growing up and looking at things, and I discovered this late. But I was never discipled, man. And that is why my life turned out the way it did, because I was never discipled. And the thing is, everybody wants you to understand them. Yeah, but you see what these boys don't understand. But do you guys try to understand us? Because musicians are not normal. We're not normal. You understand? So you cannot tell Messi how to kick that ball. Messi is naturally gifted like that. He can kick that ball. The only thing you must do is just work with his head. Shape his character. That's it. Because you can't tell him anything about football. So with us, we can play. We can sing. You can't tell us anything about music. But what we need is for you to help us get our minds right. Disciple us. You see, so the worst place you want to get Messi is at a place where he's frustrated. Where you now limit him. He's a brilliant number 10, but you play him as a number 5. As a defender. Doesn't mean he can't play there, but he will never be able to express himself because it's not where he's supposed to be. You're limiting him. You see, so now it goes back to what I said earlier. I know what I'm called to do, what I do, but now you limit me by telling me in my ear, Brand, you're going too far. Get back to the service.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
The thing is, don't mess with what I do.
Yeah.
That is what I do. I'm gifted like that. All I'm asking is, mentor me, channel my journey, disciple me, and then you will see the best coming out of me.
Because besides my gift, I'm a person.
So just work with the person. Don't worry about the gift.
Sure.
work with the person because I can handle that. But the thing is, I can't handle the likes, man. I can't handle the applause from the crowd. You see, but the thing is, don't worry about that. So now then I get caught up in all of that.
What do you mean by that?
Let me tell you a short story. I'll try to make it short.
Yeah.
So I started to play drums at the age of 9 years old.
Okay.
So now between 9 and 11, 12 years old, you are this cute little boy that's playing the drum. So back in the day, in late 80s, early 90s, choirs was a thing. Every church, youth group had a choir, and there was groups coming out of churches.
Yeah.
So now, wherever you play with your choir, another group will see you, and now they will approach you to come play with them, and then you play with them, and now, you're becoming this hot guy.
Yeah.
Where everybody wants you to play for them. And then, if you can remember, when the charismatic church started to just pop up like that. So there was a little bit finances there. So the resources was better. Because remember, we come from Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
So the Pentecostal church was this little classroom church.
Yeah.
And now these guys invite you to come play there by them. And now when you come there, you see it's lights on the stage. It's a blackout church. The resources is there.
It's recorded.
Well, back in the day, it wasn't the case. It was just this little mood lights. Now, you being a 14-year-old boy.
Sure. Exposed to this now.
Exposed to that. You already intrigued by, wow, look at this. And now you compare. Okay, here they give you, back in the day, they would give you $150 to play. So now you check, look at the setup here. There's coffee. There's coffee plus they giving you $150 and they're taking you home.
Sure.
You understand?
At 14, that's the lotto. Yeah.
Looking on that side, how do we play? It's
classroom.
Church, drums is standing like that. There's one mic. You understand? Now you're starting to compare.
Yeah.
But remember, you are a 14-year-old boy, let alone music. You're a 14-year-old boy. So now you check, wait, this is very nice compared to that. Remember, I grew up in that setting. The classroom was good to me, but now I'm exposed to this. And then little by little, I'm shifting over. Now they invite you to play for a conference. Now they give you $350 plus a t-shirt with a branding on church name. And they took pictures of us and they were now on this poster. So back in the day, posters that they would put on the shop, by the shops and on the light poles and all of that. So when you go to school, everybody's talking because they saw you on that thing. So something is happening here, and by the classroom, we don't get that.
Sure.
So I'd rather play here. And there's more opportunities because now somebody's getting married. Now they say they want the band to come play at the wedding. Playing at the wedding, now we play a little bit of secular stuff. People enjoy themselves. And then somebody come and say, hey man, don't you guys want to come play at my 60th? Now you go to the 60th playing there. Some people see you there. They book you in a casino.
Now it's opening doors for you.
Now you are 16-year-old and you believe that the prayers that they pray over you in this church
is working.
Because remember, in that church now they're telling you God is going to open doors for you, and you believe it because you can now see doors are opening. And boom, you're playing in a casino. You're now totally forgetting about the class camera, that little school classroom. You're forgetting about that. This is now your life. You're getting used to this. You're getting paid. And now you start to weigh your options. Because if mommy call and mommy say, Brent, you must come play at church. I'm like, hey, mommy, you guys don't even have a proper monitor. Remember, I grew up there.
Yeah, I know there.
Now I'm comparing.
Yeah.
At least there's monitors.
Yeah.
Tell the pastor to at least give me 100 rand.
But what's the problem with that now?
What?
With moving over to now where the lights are, the stage are.
So this is where So getting back to that. So now you are so caught up with all the attention, that little stipend that you're getting at stage, that has become your world. And nobody is there to mentor you. You see, so to me, if the mentorship or the discipleship program started in the classroom, I never would have ended up playing in a club or in a casino. Because discipleship shape you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So which means, yes, I was a musician, but I was out of shape.
Sure.
Because nobody shaped me.
Sure. It reminds me of Jesus.
Yeah.
When Jesus is at the temple and he's like, the scholars say about 13 years old, and he's at the temple and he's teaching and he's expounding the word, and the scripture says that those who were there were marveling at his gift. Paraphrasing the Kyle translation, the New Breed translation, but was basically saying that they were so marveled at his gift, right? But then the next verse says, but Mary came for Jesus. Mary and Joseph came for Jesus and said, "You're going home with us.
Yes, sir.
It's not the time. You're 13." And yes, this is of course Jesus. But just to highlight what you're saying, that even Jesus was taken from the temple because the time for his revelation hadn't come.
Yes, sir.
Even though he was gifted, clearly he was gifted, but he was then removed from the temple because he would have to come 30 years later. And then I always think of the fact that the same Mary that came to him and said, "Listen, the time now is for you to come home."
Yes, sir.
Is the same Mary in the book of John who said to him, "Now is the time." Do whatever it is that he says, and of course the wedding miracle, where Jesus is the one who says, "No, it's not time yet." She's the one who says to him and provokes him towards following now, that to say this is now the time. So I think what you're saying there is that tension between the time and not the time, and the platform, and when is the right time to do that. But what you also say is that was then tempting, you know, out of a caring environment that were actually after your soul. Sure.
So you end up, doing all of those things and allow so many things to enter that when you finally get back to church, then there's so much to deal with.
Now when it's time to when it's your 2012 moment, where it's time to actually you coming back to the Lord, and now there's so much to deal with.
There's so much to deal with because now nobody understands me.
You went in a detour now.
It's like, no man, this guy didn't grow up like that. Where did you learn all of this? What you guys don't understand is I was gone for so long, and there's so much that entered, and now there's a struggle within. That's why, again, like I said, the gift, the music, there's nothing wrong with that. You see? So the thing is, you guys are so caught up with me playing, with me singing, that you don't realize that I'm battling with some stuff inside. You understand? So forget about the singing and the playing, because that is what I do. No problem there. Help me to deal with what's happening inside. But you don't care.
How important is it? And what you're saying is bringing the question. How important is it for the musician to be equally committed to his local church?
Extremely important. Extremely important. Hence I'm saying, when you find yourself under covering that is willing to journey with you as a person and not so much worried about the gift. Remember, again, Messi can play. So we don't care about...
You're a real Messi guy. I see you're not referencing Ronaldo at all here.
Okay.
And we're going to have a problem.
You understand? So he can play. So we're not worried about what he's doing on the field, because that comes naturally. What we're worried about is how he's going to deal with the fame, how he's going to deal with the finance, how he's going to deal with all that. You understand? So help me with that. And you're going to see. So when it comes to the importance of, covering and being committed to a local
church,
all of that plays a part. You see, but if you're only going to care about what I do on a Sunday and not really check into me off stage, you're going to lose me, even though you're going to enjoy what I do on stage. You understand? So in most cases, churches do have the musician, but they've lost the person. You understand? So if we can get the person, then what comes with him will automatically be there.
Man, I don't know who this is ministering to, but this is so strong. Apostle Brandon had posted something a while ago, and of course Apostle Brandon is we both covered by him, and he said that, at least I won't verbatim quote it, but I'll get the sentiment right. He was speaking about the importance of even musicians to sit under the word.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of the times you find because what I'm saying is this discipleship issue shows up in little ways, right?
Yeah.
One of the ways is, oh man, you get off the stage and it's time for the word of God to be preached. And then you find that's a convenient exit point instead of a moment where you're meant to be sitting under the word. Like all of us, we all need that. But it shows up in those little ways.
I won't lie to you, bro. I've been around, and there are places where they literally have a little backstage room for the worship team to go and chill after praise and worship. So they have like donuts and nice finger things there to enjoy. So which means we don't sit under the word because our job is done.
There's even a space created for you not to sit under the word.
So there's also
I didn't know that.
There's a big door that takes us backstage. So when we're done, everybody gets up. We slide through that door, and then, hey guys, nice set and all of that, and sharp, and there we chill. We have coffee, we have drinks, we have donuts, and then that's it. We don't even know what was preached. We don't care. You understand? But likewise, nobody came forward to say, hey guys, it's important that you sit under. So the only thing that's important also for them is that you guys do praise and worship. And then once you guys leave, then it's
sure.
So it's both.
Yeah.
You see. So it's always easy to say, no, the musician does. But remember, the musician is stepping into a house, and every house have order or must have order in a certain way, how they conduct themselves and how everybody else must conduct themselves. You see, so if you step into a house where you really want to commit, and that's the order of the house, can you then blame the musician if there is no sense of spirituality? And when you go into a house where they make it clear from the beginning that it's important that you attend prayer meeting, it's important that you join in with the activities of the church. All that kind of things. Then you know exactly, okay, this is what this house is about, and I need to act accordingly.
Submit to that.
Submit to the order of the house.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the other things that happened years ago, we played at this church for some time as session musicians, because they knew we come in, they pay us for whatever we do. But then after some time, they came and they say, but you guys don't come to prayer meeting. You guys didn't do this, that. So one of the guys stood up and said, no, but you guys never told us we must do this. You understand?
Yeah,
so when we came in, the conversation was...
Yeah. That's not why you brought us here.
When
we never came here.
The conversation was rehearsals,
payment,
and make sure every Sunday is wow. And that is what we've done. So now you turn around and now it's like, no, but you guys... are you going to be sons in the house or hirelings in the house? But we never spoke about that. You never said we must be sons. You understand? That is what I'm saying, and this is really something that I'm trying to help a lot of men of God with.
Okay.
Young guys like myself, when musicians come in, I always say to them, be clear from the beginning. Because musicians going to give you trouble if you're not clear from the beginning. So when they come in, tell them straight up there, this is what we're about. We don't pay musicians here. You understand? Everybody must be here at this time. This is what's expected from you. And then leave it over to the musician to make the choice, whether he's going to submit here or not. And if he says, nah, this is not for me, God bless you. You're out.
Wise.
You understand? But in most cases, the guys come in and then we're nice with them. We take them for lunch and then give them that stipend. And then when that stipend becomes a problem to give them, and then we change towards them. So now he's waiting for his stipend, and then we say, but kan hy nie wag nie? Why can't he wait? But that was not how it started.
Yeah.
You see, so all those things, it breaks a lot of guys to the point where they feel, you know what, church guys, nah, I'm okay.
Sure.
So that is what I'm saying. The music side of what we do, trust me, don't worry about that. All I'm saying is when guys come in, show interest in him. You know, shape them, help them, disciple them. And then you're going to see a different person.
Amazing.
But if we bring guys in just to play, we might enjoy what they do on stage, the gift, the skill, but we lose the person. And once you lose the person, that skill don't matter.
So what you're saying is worship leaders, musicians, they are not being discipled well within the church.
Let's rather do it like this or say it this way, you know.
Yeah.
That because it now becomes unfair. We say the church.
Ooh.
Because there are churches that,
okay,
you know, that's doing an excellent job with it.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you for that.
I have a friend, shout out to Joe Fredericks. I have a friend who, you know, he's been praise and worship at his respective church for 20 years, 21 years, I believe, this year.
Okay.
You understand? And I mean, the musicians that's there, it's guys that's been playing there forever. You know, so that shows you that somehow they do have an excellent discipleship program or whatever they're doing with those boys or with the guys over there, you understand? So there are churches that's really doing an excellent job with that.
Thank you for that.
But then, unfortunately, there are also those where it's more about the skill.
Love that.
And yeah.
Question. Maybe as we seal off this, last question for you, Brenton.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to see your legacy as when you leave this earth with everything that you're doing now?
Yeah.
What would you say your legacy must be?
Funny enough, my son asked me the same question the other day.
Deep son, that.
Yeah.
Yo.
And he asked me, he said, "Hey, Derek, when you are no more, you know, how would you like people to remember you?" And I said to him, if God, through the grace of God, you know, if God can really help me and establish me to become a person that disciple more to be like me or to do what I do, then my heart will be glad. Understand? Because to me, as I believe, that is when you are really functioning within the kingdom, is if you can bring more up that is, you know, that can do what you are doing. You understand?
Yeah.
Because whatever I've received is not for me. So if I can take what I have and empower others to become whatever God wants them to be, then I think I'm good.
Sure.
I honestly don't care whether my name is written in the stars or whatever. That has never been a thing for me. And maybe that is why I'm kind of person that I am. You know, I can be in the room and then people won't even know I'm there. You know, even though they see my name.
Not trying to take up too much space.
But that's the thing. So it's never about the lights and all the things for me. I just want to see that, you know, in whatever I do, God will grace me enough to also bring others up to do whatever, you know, especially in this field, in the music, gospel music field.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so
really, really appreciate you coming and lending your voice and speaking into this. I don't want to wrap this up too neatly, but this is definitely, if you are looking for permission to really allow yourself to step beyond the performance and really get your relationship with the Lord, no matter where you are now, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. I want you to know that the grace of God is sufficient. And no matter where you are, you can always get back to the cross. If you're watching this, you do still have that chance. So make sure that you check Pastor Brenton Phillips out on all the social media pages, on Facebook, TikTok.
Yes,
I love the TikTok you do. Very, very encouraging is the word that I would use. So check him out on TikTok as well. I'll put all his links in the description. And ultimately, this is all for the King and for the kingdom. Peace.
Sure.
Awesome.